Welcome into the Ranch Sitdown. Our special guest today, the great Matt Hillyer. How are you, buddy?
I never get tired of you saying the great Matt Hillyer. It makes me feel really good.
I have one adjective. That's all I have.
That's pretty good.
In my repertoire.
It's the right one.
Is it?
Good to see. Yeah. It's good.
If you're going to use one,
Yeah.
use great.
It's good to see you, Shayne. Always good to catch up with you, man.
It is. How about a song to get us rolling?
You betcha. And this is the latest single off my new record, Bright Skyline, on State Fair Records. And I hope you'll pick it up and check it out. There's a little rockabilly number called If I Didn't Have You. Every time I think about how you turned my life inside out, hey baby, you made me new. I was lost and wandering all alone, sinking fast just like a stone, down, down, down into the blue. Then you came through me a line, you dusted off this heart of mine, pulled me up, pushed me through. I guess that's why I have to say I wouldn't be standing here today. I'd be long gone and lonesome if I didn't have you. Well, if I didn't have you, I probably wouldn't be here. I might well just disappear, leaving nothing behind but tears if I didn't have you. Guess that's why I have to say I wouldn't be standing here today. I'd be long gone and lonesome if I didn't have you. Every time you're thinking of what's in your heart, words of love, let me be the one you're talking to. Let me hear you whisper true that you feel the way I do. Tell me, honey, I'd be lost if I didn't have you. Well, if I didn't have you, all I'd be is a lonely boat upon the sea, sinking in misery if I didn't have you. Guess that's why I have to say I wouldn't be standing here today. I'd be long gone and lonesome if I didn't have you. There ain't nothing I'd want to do if I didn't have you.
He is Matt Hillyer, and if that voice seems a little familiar to you, more than 2 decades as the front man of the band 1100 Springs.
Yeah.
And a question you've probably never been asked. What happened to that band?
I still talk to the guys.
Do you?
Yeah, and I use a lot of them on band shows when I do it.
Awesome.
Just not everybody, and usually not all at once. But I still stay in touch with
1100
everybody.
Springs always seemed like one of those bands that if one guy had to go, the whole thing had to be over with. Because you guys were a pretty good force for a long time.
We had a pretty good list of characters that came in and out of that band, but Steve Berg and I were the ones who really kind of spearheaded the whole thing. And I think that without either one of us, I think that the two of us probably weren't really interested in just pushing it forward if we weren't working together on it.
Right.
And I don't, I
kind of a package deal.
Yeah, kind of a package deal. And then also I have to give props to Jordan Hendricks, the fiddle player, because he's pretty much a staple.
He's still flipping people off when he plays the whole time?
Still does. Yeah, hadn't gotten that problem fixed yet.
I don't think you should.
That's
the thing. That's the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know if people know this. I mean, people talk about that, but he got some sort of injury with his hand when he was a baby.
Yeah.
And they just never did any kind of surgery to fix it, so he can't really bend that finger.
So he just sits there and flips the crowd off the entire show.
Uh-huh.
It's fantastic.
Which
if they don't know,
many a picture has just been comically adorned by his hand.
Oh yeah.
No, it's which makes it even kind of more amazing how much he does with just 3 fingers on the fiddle. So.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the new album, I'm going to put it up here on the camera, is called Bright Skyline. If I can get this thing to go. There it goes. New one's called Bright Skyline. Album cover looks like it's got a bunch of tattoos on it, and then I look way down in the bottom right corner and I see this name Oliver Peck. Did he do this cover?
He did the cover. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he and I have been friends for a really long time, and I've been working in trade with him for years.
I was gonna say he's a great tattoo artist for those that don't know.
Yeah,
like legendary.
Yeah, he was on that show Ink Master. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been working in trade with him for years, and I'll go and play one of his events, and then he'll give me a tattoo for free. And now it's funny because I'm pretty much done getting tattooed. So like the last couple of times I'll go play one of his parties or whatever, he's got to tattoo my kid.
So you're running out of room.
Right? It's funny. My wife is just like, just see if he can pay you some money. No, don't get her.
You know that's okay, right?
Don't get her kid all tattooed up. She's like, well, she's going to do it anyway.
Right?
Might as well get tattooed by somebody who's good.
Right?
Know?
Yeah,
like, so,
absolutely.
But for that, I was just like, instead of having him tattoo my kid this time, I was like, I want you to do my album cover. He's like, oh, awesome.
It's a really cool looking cover.
Thanks. I think he did a great job. And one thing it's a little fun fact is on the album cover you see some tattoo designs and stuff. Those are all tattoos that I have.
That was going to be my question. Like if I put this up here close, you can see. I was like, well, there's all these tattoos and cool names and pictures and stuff. So these are all on there. Are you
all
or
of the
some of them?
Yeah, all of the stuff that's behind the image of me. Those are all tattoos of mine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Especially because I have a couple of tattoos that are for my kids, and I thought it'd be neat to be able to put their names somewhere on the art.
How many of these tattoos are ones you don't show people? Because they're in like
I can't remember.
Locations.
I can't remember which ones are on there, but I mean there are probably some that probably don't show
that
up.
Nobody ever sees but your wife.
Yeah.
So 11 tracks on this album. You co-wrote or wrote every one of them. Are all these new songs or any of these old songs that you were holding on to for years, like with 1100, but it didn't kind of quite fit that band?
No, these are all pretty much new. I mean, the last record that I did, the last solo record that I did, there were a couple of songs that did get pitched to 1100 Springs that really didn't, we didn't wind up recording them or doing them. But now those are all tunes that are after the breakup of the band.
Okay, so this is all new stuff.
New stuff, man.
Where are you finding the inspiration for these new songs?
I'll tell you, I have been in this songwriters group with a bunch of our friends for over 3 years now. And we write a song every single week. And we're not, there's lots of groups like this.
Was this the thing that started during the pandemic?
I joined up during the pandemic.
Okay,
yeah. But I think it had been going for a pretty long time. And it's still going for a long time, and a lot of good people, and it's just that discipline of writing something every single week. I mean, there are a lot of my friends like Adam Hood or Drew Kennedy probably would say, "Dude, we write multiple songs a day,
every day."
You can stop patting yourself on the back, No, but I haven't ever really kind of gone at it with that scheduled sort of discipline of doing it for better or worse. So now I have a whole lot of songs.
So how many of them do you think are actually good?
That's a real good question. Yeah.
When you're writing all the time, not everything can be great.
No, that's I think one of the biggest lessons about it is just get out of your own way, get out of your head, and it's usually not as bad as what you think it is when you finish it on the day of. Like I'll usually go back and revisit and be like, it's not as terrible as I thought it was.
That's good.
But some, they can't all be 3-pointers, man.
Are you your own worst critic?
You have to be, I think. Because if you're trusting your people to
you're surrounded by yes men all the time
to shoot you straight,
right.
like they don't always do that.
That's true. So in this weekly songwriter, is there like a subject or a topic that they come up with every week?
You get a prompt. It's usually
Okay.
1 or 2 words, and you don't have to stick through it. Some people's groups, they're pretty hardcore about sticking to the prompt, but I think it's just really to get your wheels turning. So, yeah, you get a prompt, and it's just supposed to get you going, and you got a week to finish it. And if you don't submit it before Wednesday at midnight, you're done.
They kick you out, ridiculed,
You'll be
tarred and
done.
feathered.
Yeah, it's not quite that bad. They're just like, it's usually because I've been in charge. I had to kick myself out one time because I was stupid.
Sorry, guys.
I wrote the song and I had it all ready to go and everything, and you ever like have a text message that you're about to send and you
forget?
Yeah, and you're like, well, why didn't so and so respond to me? You go back and you look, and
It's
you're
still
like,
in that little
you
box.
never sent it. And that's what I did with the song group.
Oh,
People were cool about it. They were like, "Oh man, don't worry about it. We trust you. We know you."
they
I was
knew
like,
you were
"No,
lying, and you typed it up real fast and said,
the
"Hey, look,
rules
it's on the
have
box."
the rules have to be the rules." So,
Well, that's
but yeah, usually if somebody's if you have to kick somebody out, you usually just feel bad about it.
right. So how do you get back in?
You have to just wait till somebody else falls out.
Golly.
Yeah, it took a couple.
It's like that TV show Survivor.
Yeah, Rio's been in and out, I think, the most out of anybody
I could see that.
Yeah. It's like when I first got there, he had been kicked out, and he came back in, and he had to kick himself out again. And gotta love Rio.
Gets busy buying fringe jackets is what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Takes away from the songwriting.
His commitment to the bit is strong.
Right, no kidding, huh? Well, that's interesting. So, out of your songwriting group, how many of those, if any, songs are on this album from those prompts?
8.
Oh, wow.
8 or 9 out of the whole deal. Yeah.
So this has been a very valuable process for you. That's awesome.
And then the last record too. Most of those songs came from the group.
Really interesting.
Yeah. No, it's been really cool because that's another thing about doing it all the time is just that sometimes you'll do stuff that you wouldn't normally do. Like if I had to sit down and write a batch of songs because I had a deadline to get in the studio and make a record, I'm probably going to be in my head about it and thinking about, okay, well, I need to write, these type of songs. It's got to, but if the pressure's off and you know you're just going to make something up, you may write something that you never in a style that you wouldn't have ever done before.
Gonna learn something about yourself. It sounds like.
I felt like the pressure was on at first being part of the group because you got to, you have a deadline and all that stuff. But really, it kind of takes a lot of it off of you just because if you want to write something, I mean, sometimes I like to write something really stupid on purpose.
Right. Just see if you can do it.
Yes.
See how it feels.
Yeah. Oh, I can do it.
See, my first day.
Well, those dumb songs sometimes are the ones that everybody loves the most.
Right.
Right.
Right. And I've noticed just on this side of the game that most of the songs that the artists hate are the ones I love the most. They're like, it's my least favorite song on it. I was like, dude, this is a radio hit. This is it. This is the one.
Yeah, we've got those. Yeah, for sure.
Well, how cool is it to be involved in a music scene where everybody kind of champions and helps each other out like that? That is just incredible. It really is.
Yeah, man, I've said this for years and years and years. It's something super special, and it's not the norm.
No,
it's not the norm. And even just for genres of Texas music, our kind of music, whether it's Americana, Texas country, red dirt, whatever you want to call it, is one of the most supportive communities that I've ever seen. And it's not like that with all some of the different genres in Texas. Mostly people in Texas it's pretty family, oriented like that. But the group of people that are in our type of music, like I say, red dirt or Texas country, whatever people want to call it.
we can't figure it out.
Right.
We still have it. Yeah.
These are your best buddies. They're your friends. You make lifelong relationships with these folks.
And
I'm
crazy.
super happy to be a part of it.
It's pretty exciting. So the first song you played for us just now is the first one radio got, called If I Didn't Have You, and it really has that rockabilly sound.
Yeah.
Was it fun to go back to like your old rockabilly band days to do something like that?
I love it. I always gravitate towards back to that style. I never get away from it. Like I'm not in that world anymore. Like I don't, You know, I don't slick my hair up every time I
Right.
go out, and I don't
You should. but
wear
yeah.
old. Yeah, well, sometimes I do. You know, I don't wear all the '50s clothes all the time, but
Right.
I still do love it, and I'll never. I think it's a really cool style of music. It's it opens you up to all different styles. You can be jazzy, you can be, you know, you can really rock with it, you can be country with it. It's a whole lot of fun to play. So yeah, it is a lot of fun to be able to go into the studio and go, let's really make a rockabilly song, you know, because not you know, as much as people now kind of know what that is, they still don't kinda know what
quite.
that is.
Yeah,
you
like they
know?
don't know what Americana is, and they don't
They
know what
recognize the
Texas
s-
country is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they recognize the sound when they hear it,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't. You know, not everybody understands what all that is. I
Mm-hmm.
love it.
Yeah, it's such a cool song. It's a great way
Thanks.
for you to introduce this album to all of us in the radio world, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool. What is your favorite song on this album?
Well, you know,
It's like picking your babies. I
right.
know.
It's hard to say. I really, it would be a toss up between one that I wrote with Mondo Signs
Mhm.
called "Did She Ever Want to Live Like This?" And I just am a huge fan of Mondo's writing, and just he's a good friend, and
It's such a cool voice too,
yeah,
man. Cool singing voice. Yeah.
for sure. And it's a song that's specifically about my marriage, and just, you know, after being together for as long as we have, and just kind of asking the question, it's like, you know, did she ever really sign up for all of this? 'Cause, you know,
Right.
well, you know,
Yeah.
it's not as it's not meant to be as sad as all of that. It's really, you know, because in the song, the woman definitely is, you know,
Mm-hmm.
she's in it to win it, but it's, you know, sort of a reflection of just my anxiety about whether I'm doing a good enough job.
Right. Right.
Yeah. It's either between that or a song called the title track, Bright Skyline,
Mm-hmm.
which is about unhoused people. Because I was at the time I was driving my kid every day to school, and she was going to school in downtown Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, everything gets more urban the closer we get to school. And you know, there's people on street corners asking for money all throughout the whole way. But the closer you get to the city, the more real it really
Yeah.
becomes. And as all the years that I've been playing bars and things like that, a lot of times I would get to know some of these folks that lived on the streets, just because I'd try to help them out if I could. After shows, a lot of times I'd be hanging around. You know, you get to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've always had that sort of thought about their perspective, because it's one thing for people to keep driving on by, which is what all anybody has the time to do.
Right.
But it's another thing to sort of sit there and think, you know, everybody has their own human experience, and living on the streets, especially in a metropolitan area, it's a lot to even try to wrap your head around. But these are people, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. They're human beings.
Yeah, they're people, and you know, they deserve every now and again when you can to look up, you know, maybe say hi or something. I don't know. That's kind of this perspective. It's from the perspective of somebody who's unhoused. And I'm hoping to collaborate with Fort Worth-based Cloud Covered Streets to maybe
Yeah.
do a video, because I love that organization.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
love
they're
what they
doing some good stuff.
yeah, I
man.
love what they do for people, and I love the people who run it. And so I'm hoping, like, if we can make a video for that to sort of, you know, get people to put a link up or something. Maybe people can give money to those folks.
It's one of those subjects that people don't really like to talk about, but we should.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, because like you start, you know, we're fixing to hit summertime months, and you got to think these guys and gals are sleeping out on cement. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, God, like I walk outside to get the mail, and I feel like I'm going to pass out.
Yeah.
Like, they're living in this.
It's rough, and you can't you know, you can't just automatically assume anything about who
Right.
anyone is, or how they got to the place that they're in, or how they even feel about it. You know, some people would rather not.
Yeah.
They prefer that lifestyle. I don't know, but it's mainly just sort of thinking about it, you know, as a human being, you know. But I also like the song specifically just because it's the weirdest song on the record. It's just different. It's not country.
Completely stands out. From
It's just it's a weird sort of dissonant, sort of spacey kind of tune. When I do these things, a lot of times the oddballs are my favorites.
Right.
You know, just
You
because.
kind of surround yourself with oddballs.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Yeah, that's who you are.
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing wrong with that.
We did a music video for another song on the record called "Moving Away." It's about my neighbors, and it was just my neighbors, you know, that moved. They're just a sordid cast of characters. And so I had to cast the video and try and figure out, well, I need some weird people. That was super easy for me to do.
Just like,
you
just had to turn around and there they were.
You guys doing anything right now?
Right.
Want to make a video? Yeah.
Yeah, let me put this sombrero down. I'll be right back.
Right. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, Matt Hillyer, how about another song?
Sure.
What are we going to hear here, sir?
Let me do that one I was talking about that I wrote with Mondo Science.
Yeah.
Did she ever want to live like this? Did she ever want to live like this? Does she ever want to change her mind? Was it ever really her great wish? Betting on a fool? Did she ever want to be that strong? Did she think we'd be further along instead of singing this same old song, pretending that it's new, thinking about what she might have missed? Did she ever want to live like this? 20 years down the road, she's looking at the same old sign, wondering where it's gonna go while I'm still driving blind. Still dreaming like a bright-eyed kid, looking for the words to rhyme while she's still holding on. But did she ever want to live like this? Does she ever want to change her mind? Was it ever really her great wish? Betting on a fool? Did she ever want to be that strong? Did she think we'd be further along instead of singing that same old song, pretending that it's new, thinking about what she might have missed? Did she ever want to live like this? She'll smile and say, baby, don't think so much. But lately I've been thinking maybe I don't think enough. Why can't I let go and just trust in her love? Why do I keep asking myself, did she ever want to live like this? Does she ever want to change her mind? Was it ever really her great wish? Betting on a fool? Did she ever want to be that strong? Did she think we'd be further along instead of singing that same old song, pretending that it's new, thinking about what she might have missed? Did she ever want to live like this? Hindsight being what it is. Did she ever want to live like this?
Matt Hillyer hanging out with us on the Ranch Sitdown. Man, I've been a fan of yours for so long. I was thinking the other day, like, I remember you coming to see me in little AM radio stations in Granbury, Texas. Been following you around a long time, man.
Right, man. That's what I was going to say. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, you know, like, because
are you drunk right now?
yeah, well, I'm going to just go ahead and not answer that question. No, but I mean, like, you know, I've been a fan of you, and of course your dad too, going in to be on the radio with him, and then how much, you know, it was definitely a family affair being in radio and supporting Texas music.
Absolutely.
For you guys, I'll never forget that, man.
Absolutely.
And it's people who literally put their money where their mouth is as far as the music is concerned, and you get mad respect from me for for all the years and all the support.
Appreciate that, man. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. What's next for Matt Hillyer?
Well, we've got a release party coming up, and just doing that. You can find that date on matthillyer.com.
Well, look at you. Turned into a pitch man. I
know.
like this.
Well,
look at this.
I'm learning after 30 years in the biz, man. Finally figuring something out. So you can find my dates there. You can look me up on the socials. I'm actively trying to get my daughter to teach me how to properly use TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Still haven't downloaded it yet.
I've offered her money to
run it
to help me.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, that sounds fun, Dad." And then she goes and looks at TikTok by herself in her room, and I don't hear from her for the rest of the day.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So that's been
your daughter at that age where like you have to physically tell them to leave their room. That's what mine are, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
we got two. It's like, come see me. I need to know you're alive.
Right. Yeah. And like we'll get snacks for the family.
Yeah.
But they just wind up upstairs in her room, You
go into the room and there's like 14 Dr. Pepper cans on the nightstand.
It's embarrassing for me because it's like, I want Pringles too.
Right. In bed.
But
it would be great.
Like, I want Pringles too. But if I go up there as, a middle-aged man and I'm like, what'd you do with the goldfish? It's like I can't very well tell her not to snack out as much as she does
when you want to do the same thing.
It's like, stop stealing all the stuff.
It's hard to set that example.
Stop taking the whole box of zebra cakes.
My nightstand has Ziploc bags full of snacks because as soon as we get them, all right, I got to get some of these. I got to get some Cheez-Its. Yeah. Get them all in there.
Trying to instill better eating habits, but I'm not leading by example very well.
Well, if you hide them in the nightstand, nobody knows.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's all kinds of stuff in that nightstand.
Right. There always is.
I don't want to talk about it.
Right. The good book's in there.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Matt Hillyer, thank you so much. The new album's called Bright Skyline. I can't wait to listen to it. I got it. It was on my desk this morning, so I haven't got to listen to a couple of tracks off of it. But, man, we're gonna blow up this first single and have some fun with this thing.
Well, once you find a CD player, you can pop that one in.
Do you know I had to buy a portable CD player to hook up to my laptop?
That's what they want. They're trying to sell you outboard gear.
That's exactly what it is.
100%.
Yeah, the aftermarket stuff.
Yeah, well, it's on streaming platforms if you're not old school like Shayne and me. If you just want to stream it, it's all the way out there.
I don't know.
Or it will be on the 21st.
Something's wrong with your 8-track. I don't know what to do. It won't play. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
Always great to catch up, Al.